Welcome back to the Overboard DM. My name's Cujo, and I go overboard on everything Dungeons and Dragons. As you well know, I just buy everything and let you guys see it and figure out if you guys want to spend your money on it. Let me waste mine and find out if it's any good. Um, and today I'm looking at some Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. Most of them that had just dropped recently. I know there's still some on back order because of the virus that's going on. I was able to get my hands on a few that I ordered. I'm starting to just now only pre-order the ones that are more creatures and races that don't already have miniatures made. So this one's going to be just more of a DM's miniatures lineup. And I'm going to start off. I got our Tabaxi. He's in for scale, because Grandma's under quarantine. Grandma and her cats. The first blister pack I want to show is the Raptors. I think these sculpts are really good. As you can see, I cut them off their little plastic base and glued them onto some Star Wars premium bases. Just a regular standard base. It's a little thicker. I like them, and I have a whole bunch of extra bases, so I'm going to be utilizing those. But excellent looking miniature. I'm going to show some comparison. In the Tomb of Annihilation, they had some Raptors that came with that set. And that's what they looked like, and that's their scale. Now, we could probably use those for one of those little tiny dinosaurs like in Jurassic Park that look like little tiny baby raptors, or they could be used as baby raptors. That's a good idea. I also, before I got these, and these came out pretty recent, I had bought the Reaper line of raptors, and you can see that they are very close as well. Like I said, they're almost painted fully. I know on this channel you hardly ever see any fully painted miniatures. I tend to, you can see, they're totally not done. I got them to a certain point, and I had to put a little different color on each one of them because we were doing some races in Chult. And each, you had to bet on them, and you had to pick, you had to be able to tell them apart. So I couldn't make them all exactly the same. So I put a little different scaling on their backs, just kind of indicate which one was which. But even with, if you look at how close these ones are to the Reaper ones, it's pretty close. And I also did the same thing to those Reaper ones. I cut off their little plastic base that came with them, and I glued them to a regular base. So let's get all these Raptors out of here. And my unpainted miniatures, half unpainted. But yeah, the Raptors look good. A lot of, except for these little guys, no detail and very small. And let's get right into something a little bigger here. Let's do the green Salade. Now this guy here is really cool. A lot of people are waiting for the Salades to come out. The other, extended range, because there's I think 5 colors. And this is the green one. Definitely the magic user of the bunch. Excellent miniature. He's supposed to be a large. He is a large on a large base. You can see in comparisons to a medium size character right there. Excellent miniature. Can't wait to get him painted up. Now there's no hurry, of course, for this guy, because unless you're playing a campaign that's going to have some Salades in it, he's pretty powerful. I'll take him down. We'll step to the blue Salade that just came out. Really cool. You can tell they're very different. This one's got a couple long claw type talons that come out of his knuckles like Wolverine. You can see, let's talk about the model a little bit. You can see some cracks up here. that could be filled, little gaps. But he's got some little spiky bits in the spots that he needs them according to his character model as far as his artwork. If you pull up his artwork in one of the monster manuals, you'll see that he looks pretty close to exactly how he's supposed to look. Again, great sculpt, good size, real happy. And then we'll look at the gray Salade. Now he's on a medium base, and he is a medium creature, and he's got some pretty long talons himself, coming out like Wolverine style. And he's got those spikes running down his back, and he is a medium creature. Like I said, he's supposed to be. The only thing I'm not liking what I did with the paint job is I painted the Death Salade almost the exact same color, and I didn't realize I was doing that. So it's hard to tell them apart, but he definitely is a gray Salade. And now here is the red Salade still doesn't have a miniature, I don't believe. But we'll skip to the Death Salade. And at first glance you think, oh, it looks exactly the same, but it's not. It's definitely different. It's a different sculpt. It's got different spiky bits in different areas. He is kneeling on this one on one knee, it looks like. He is the Death Salade, but like I said, I had the same paint scheme and didn't realize I was doing that. But he is Death Salade. I can pull this one back out just so you can see them separate or next to each other. You would think by first glance that they were the exact same, but you can see they're different. Longer talons, shorter talons, all that good stuff. Different under the arm wings and stuff, if you will. Not wings, but you know what I'm talking about. So there's the Salades. Let's moving right along. We're going to go into this blister pack here, the Gorrell and the Basilisk. It's kind of a weird combination in this blister set. I don't have any other Gorrell. I do know that there were some old Gorrell miniatures from a set that I kind of liked that were cool. This one's definitely a different sculpt. It's kind of like he's floating, and they all float. But the way he's got his arms like an octopus is very unique. The Basilisk is a lot smaller than I thought. I was just thinking that they were really big. I don't know if they normally are, and this is just a tiny one. I looked it up. He's definitely a medium creature, and he is on a medium base. I just assumed that they were a lot bigger, so he has about 52 hit points for that little guy. And yeah, I mean, it's still pretty cool. I don't have either one of these. Get those painted up. Might want some more Gorrell though. And let's go to this next booster or blister pack, and that is a Lich and a Mummy. Now, like I said, I rebased all these medium size creatures, and I'm going to continue to do that. I'm actually going to go backlog, and I'm going to do some of my other miniatures as well. I like cutting them off and then gluing them to a different base. It just looks better to me. And I have so many. That's another reason why I bumped my Star Wars miniatures all up to their super premium Star Wars looking tech base. So I've got all the plain bases that I can use for D&D. So multi-purposing. This Lich looks just like the one in the book, except he's got a undead body rising from the ground right there. Really good looking Lich, man. I like it a lot. And the Mummy is actually really cool too. I've got some older Hero Quest mummies that I've used because they're just generic and basic, and this is kind of a cool mummy that's got a spell going on behind it. Really like both of these. definitely worth the grab. And I have some death dogs. I've got all kinds of different dogs, hellhounds, and um, I got a Cerberus coming, a three-headed dog. Uh, that's in a Kickstarter for Dwarven Forge though. But yeah, these guys are cool. Again, they look like they're sculpts, like their artwork, and two different poses. Um, Good-looking dogs. Put them up. Let's get something else out here. What else did I get? Ah, this is a unique booster uh, blister pack. I always want to say booster. I don't know why. Well, this is a Harpy, which is a great looking Harpy. But when you think of Harpy, you want something else, evil, and maybe two different Harpies, different sculpt maybe. And this, I don't have any Harpies, and it's a pretty good sculpt. I almost would want the wings more flapping, because in that pose, those wings should be falling right out of the sky. But it's still beautiful. To paint that would be great, the feathers and everything. But in that particular set, it came with an Aarakocra, which are considered a pretty, I guess, evil race. You can play them. If it's a playable character, I tend to think that they're not just like straight up evil. So I don't look at them in the same category as a Harpy. Maybe you do. I'm not sure. Talk about it in the comments. But it's a great looking Aarakocra. I have another one here from Tomb of Annihilation box set. You can get this already painted if you get the painted version, or he's more jumping, and overall looks a little bit smaller in comparison. But yeah, I guess he is smaller. Almost like he's on a different scale. Same kind of wing formation, which is a little bit more like he's actually flying right there. And of course, these older miniatures here are going to be more softer plastic, and they're going to be more prone to bending. Where these Nolzurs are a little bit more rigid and hold their shape. But that's that. Let's take this Harpy off. And let's get something else out there. I'm going to do this Etten. He is on a large base. And again, you pull up his artwork, and they are spot on. Looks just like the artwork. Like I said, the only problem with this is, in Dungeons and Dragons, WizKids, if you're listening, I know you watch all my videos. Come on. I don't know. I guess it's in the licensing, but it's great that it looks just like your artwork. But then if you buy a second one, he's gonna look exactly like it, and it's the same pose. So I guess that's why people have 3D printers, and so you can print up a little variation and have a couple different types of characters. I do love the WizKids line. They look really good. And I do love what Gale Force 9's been doing, but it's nice. I like to have a lot of variety, in your miniature, so they're not all the same. But he looks pretty cool. And we are going to get out now a Crocodile. Now this has a clear base that it comes with. I guess so you can keep that clear and then paint this blue see-through, like a little bit of a water effect, maybe with some ink or a wash, most likely an ink. I still got some old Citadel inks that I use. Or maybe you're using green water, more of a swampy water. It's actually a great alligator. I mean, that's where you're probably going to get attacked. Excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely something that I would want another one or two of these. But great Great sculpt, great idea, layout. And then we have this set of Furballs. I did say that I do buy occasional heroes or playable characters, especially when they don't have hardly any models out there. Number one, I'd like my players to be able to have a choice. You know, say, hey, I want to play a Furball. Well, you know, hey, I don't have any. Yeah, good luck finding them. So I'm glad they're making them now. There's two. They're two different styles, so that's really cool. And in a previous video that I just made, I kind of showed off this guy here. I rebased him as well. He was on he's a Gale Force 9 model. He comes in another set. You can't get him individually. I haven't done a review on that set yet, but I will, so you'll see him again. So that'll be his third video. So, but yeah, all three of these are great, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to show these off together. You got three great Furball options. I don't like the other WizKid one that came out in a previous set. It looks too skinny. It looks weird to me. I'm like, I don't even know. Is it a Furball? Are you sure? And I really think they just look like a Furball from Critical Role. And I don't like to bash Critical Role because I like it, but I don't like Cassius Clay's model. I don't like the artwork, and then I don't like, you know, that they actually made a model out of it. And I think that that's where WizKids went with their last Furball that they made. It looks more like a Caduceus Clay Furball, and it just looks weird to me. That's just my taste, you know. Part of this video is my opinion, right? So these Furballs look more like the artwork, a little bit more thicker, you know, a little more I don't know, that style, I guess. These guys are supposed to be about 7 foot tall, 8 foot tall, just about. And you see next to the Tabaxi, even though the Tabaxi is on just a slightly smaller base, you know, they stand pretty tall. And that's going to bring us to our conclusion, guys. So, if you like this video, click like. If you didn't like it, don't click the don't like button. That's not good. Just click the like button or don't do nothing. Hit the subscribe. I love it. My subscriber count's going up. If you stuck around this long to the end of the video, then you must really like my videos. That's cool. Pass it along. The more likes I get, I guess maybe more people are going to start seeing my videos. I'm going to try to do more. I know I don't have that many out there, but bear with me, guys. I'm trying. I got a lot to show off. I just have to. Sometimes I'm waiting for a certain miniature to come in so I can do a comparison video on it. So yeah, I know this is what I would like. I'd like to see different things next to each other so I can see what I like the best, and then I would be able to get it. And what's happening is I end up buying all of them so I can show you guys, and you can figure out what you want. So hopefully somebody wins in this whole situation. I end up having a whole bunch of miniatures I can't use. But and who knows, maybe if I hit a certain subscriber count, I'll do a giveaway. And so stay tuned for that. Keep watching. Until next time, guys. See ya.